www.coriat.com.
Here.
Seven areas of the Gaza Strip have been damaged or destroyed since the start of this war, and that 94% of the damage happened after Israel ordered Palestinians to move south on October 13th. And the civilian harm of air wars told NPR the number of civilians reported hurt in these areas increased in the week after Israel gave its evacuation order. Israel says it aims to destroy Hamas and prevent more attacks like the one on October 7th and rescue hostages. It says Hamas uses civilians for cover. Asked by NPR why it was attacking areas it told people to go to, the Israeli military said it would strike Hamas targets, quote, wherever necessary. Earlier this month, NPR producer Anas Baba arrived at the scene of one such strike on a residential block in the southern town of Rafah. It destroyed homes just near a UN building. "Where is my mum?" a child cries in the darkness amid the rubble. "Where is my dad?" A man asks for his wife. People tell him she's been pulled out. "But my daughters," he shouts, "please look for them." Anas sees more civilians arrive.
This is a father that just grabbed his daughter from under the rubbles. Her face is totally full of blood. And another body is next to me, covered in a blanket. They say that she's a woman. This woman is screaming loudly for an ambulance to save her nephew.
Eventually, the ambulance comes. Paramedics have to load 3 corpses and a wounded girl into the same vehicle because there aren't enough ambulances or fuel to make separate trips. Israel recently dropped new leaflets on one of these southern areas of Gaza that people fled to, telling them to move again. The towns that were supposed to be safer are expected to come under heavy attack once the ceasefire is over. Ruth Sherlock, NPR News.
We have much more coverage, and for different views of the conflict, go to npr.org/Mideast updates. This is NPR News.
Support comes from Santos Auto Service in Wyoming. Professional service of imports and domestics for over 40 years. Car loaner program available. SantosAuto.com.
Support comes from the Cincinnati Museum Center's Music in the Museum Organ Concert Series. The triumphant sounds of the 1929 E.M. Skinner concert organ resonate through Union Terminal as renowned artists bring more than 4,500 pipes to life. Choirs and orchestral performances round out robust performances. Music in the Museum resonates at Cincinnati Museum Center.
Look out, there's a matching grant on the floor. You should be dancing on over to your phone.
I don't know. We can dance, Lucy. Are you ready? Here we go. Dance. Okay, I'm not even. My voice is so shot from being sick last week. I'm not even going to try that, or I may not be able to talk the rest of the morning. Good morning. It is Giving Tuesday. I'm Marianne Selesnick here with Lucy May, and we have this great matching grant right now. Your gift is being matched 2-to-1 by our friends Drs. Marsha Kaplan and Michael Privatera. You give $100 and they're going to donate $200 more, so that means $300 to the station. Any amount you give. You give $10, it becomes $30. You give increase your sustaining membership by a couple of bucks a month, and that's triple. 513-419-7155.
And we have some smart and generous listeners who are taking advantage of this match. Catherine and Paul Yang, they said they give because of Giving Tuesday, triple match. They want to thank the matching donors. We want to thank them too. Another shout out for Drs. Marsha Kaplan and Michael Privatera. Thank you so much. And we want to thank Kathy and Jeff Bolmer. They called in to take advantage of all that great match too.
Thank you so much for supporting WVXU. Thank you for doing it now, because also Drs. Marsha Kaplan and Michael Privatera are donating 3 pounds of fresh fruit to Childhood Food Solutions for every gift we receive today. Doesn't matter how much it is. Any gift to WVXU will result in a donation to Childhood Food Solutions from Doctors Marcia Kaplan and Michael Privatera. Call 513-419-7155, or you can give at WVXU.org.
And we have tickets available to see Ronnie Chang. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a correspondent for The Daily Show. He was in the movie Crazy Rich Asians. He's going to be at the Taft Theater on Saturday, January 13th at 7 p.m. We only have 8 pairs of those tickets left. And if you want to get a pair, it's a $150 contribution or $12.50 a month as a sustaining member.
And you can get those right now by calling 513-419-7155 or give online at WVXU.org. How long have you been listening to WVXU? 5 years, 10 years, 50 years? Here's an easy way to give a little back for all that listening and to make sure WVXU is still going strong for many years to come. Join us as a sustaining member at 513-419-7155.
Hi, this is Catherine McGuire, and I'm very happy to support WVXU. There's the political discussions with Howard Wilkinson. I very much enjoy what he has to say. I never know the answers to his trick questions. He has a wealth of memory, like this huge database. It's amazing what he knows. And he's sharp as a tack.
You can enjoy what you listen to on WVXU and help pay for it at 513-419-7155.
People say it's better to give than to receive. Today you can do both by making your contribution to WVXU. You're giving to support the station, but you also have the opportunity to receive one of our very special thank you gifts just in time for holiday giving. Call 513-419-7155 and ask about the gifts we have for Giving Tuesday while they last, or you can look at them at WVXU.org.
One gift you will get automatically, no matter how much you give today, is the special code to listen to Neil Patrick Harris interview Ira Glass. It's a link for a live stream event on December 19th at 8:30 in the evening. Neil Patrick Harris and Ira Glass will take the stage at a small theater in New York City, and they will have a conversation. It should be a great opportunity. Now, if you're worried, I'm busy that day, well, you can watch it online later. It's going to be available at a special private YouTube link. So any level you give at today, you will receive that special gift, and your money is tripled thanks to the 2-for-1 match. 513-419-7155.
Hi, I'm Luke Runyon. And I'm Alex Hager. We report on the Colorado River for KUNC, part of the NPR network, which is built on the power of local reporting from journalists all over the country. That means you hear the news from someone embedded in the community or along the river they're reporting on. This kind of local insight is valuable, and you can support it by making a donation to this station today.
You can make that donation right now by calling 513-419-7155 or giving online at WVXU.org.
Giving Tuesday is about coming together to support the nonprofits that make our community stronger. Every day, WVXU brings you the local news and the news from all over the country and the world. This is your source for news, and we work hard every day to earn your trust and your voices of support by donating on Giving Tuesday. And we know you have a bunch of nonprofits you want to support today. We hope WVXU is on your list, and we thank you for your support.
513-419-7155, or you can give online at WVXU.org. Some folks in the past said they gave because we both listen every morning and afternoon on our way to and from work, and we know we can rely on WVXU and NPR for unbiased, accurate reporting that holds the powerful accountable. Also, your local reporting is the best. Keep it up. We thank folks for saying that. Another person says, since I go to the office 3 times a week, I started listening more to NPR to keep myself up to date on global events. If you do the same, let us know with your financial support right now at 513-419-7155, or you can give at WVXU.org. Thank you.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Organic Valley, a farmer-owned cooperative dedicated to providing ethically sourced food from small organic family farms across the country. Learn more at ov.coop/ethically sourced. And from Procter & Gamble, maker of Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive is designed to reduce occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort in hands or feet due to aging. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. This is NPR.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Michelle Martin in Washington, D.C.
And I'm Martinez in Los Angeles, California. There are now fewer than 50 days until the Iowa caucuses. That's when Republican voters will make their first choices in the 2024 race for their presidential nominee.
The once crowded field of Republicans has shrunk, and the remaining candidates are trailing far behind Donald Trump.
Iowa Public Radio's Clay Masters is here to give us an update. Clay, I was in Iowa 3 weeks ago, and back then Trump had a big lead over the rest of the field. It sounds like not much has changed.
That's right. Good morning. Not much has changed other than this crowded field we saw take shape over the spring and summer is winnowing. Former Vice President Mike Pence got out, and so did South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Former President Donald Trump also indicated in Fort Dodge, Iowa a couple weeks ago that a big win in Iowa could really help clear the field for him early.
We have to send a great signal, and then maybe these people just say, okay, it's over now. It's over. We got to end it because we have to focus on crooked Joe Biden and the Democrats.
So this is really unlike any caucus I've seen. You just don't usually have one candidate so far ahead throughout the entire cycle. None of the other candidates, including those who are battling over second place, I'm talking Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, are coming anywhere near Trump's support in the state. And another thing that makes this one so different is you have the current governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, endorsing a candidate ahead of the caucuses. This is a big rarity, and she's backing DeSantis because she says Trump can't win in a general election.
Thing is, though, politicians are still going to Iowa, so who are they trying to win over?
We can get specific here. Evangelical Christians. They take up an outsized role in Iowa's Republican electorate, much larger than the party as a whole, and they really back Trump. But some evangelical leaders see opportunity. The Family Leader, this evangelical Christian group that wields a lot of power in Iowa, held a Thanksgiving family forum. DeSantis, Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy were there. I should note Trump was invited but did not show up. And DeSantis tried to set himself apart from Trump to sway those potentially swingable voters.
I'm going to be focused on your issues. I'm going to be a disciplined and focused leader in a way that obviously Donald Trump is not in a position to be able to do that. So I view his candidacy as high risk with low reward.
After that forum, the head of the Family Leader, Bob Vander Plaats, who's historically known for endorsing the eventual caucus winner, came out in support of DeSantis, again saying he doesn't believe Trump can win in a general election. And that's the thing, right? Very few in the Republican Party are saying we don't want Trump to be the nominee because he's facing felony charges to try and overturn the last election or the threat he may pose to democracy. It's we don't think he can win.
Yeah, less than 50 days to go, as I mentioned, and the caucuses, in case anyone's wondering, January 15th, so mark that day on your calendar. What's left? I mean, what are you expecting, Clay?
Caucus goers reward those politicians who show up in the state a lot. DeSantis plans to complete his 99-county tour of Iowa with a stop in the small town of Newton over this weekend. All these campaigns are hoping for a big turnout. With the race seen as a foregone conclusion by many, there might be some fatigue for voters who may not want to go out on a cold night, before school and work the next day. But campaigns aren't the only ones who want those church basements and school gyms full. The Republican Party here wants to keep making the case for Iowa to go first in 2028, especially when you might remember National Democrats have indicated that they're done with the Iowa caucuses moving forward.
When I was there, Clay, it was 45 degrees in Iowa. People were out on election day in t-shirts, so I think they'll be fine. Clay Masters of Iowa Public Radio. Clay, thanks.
You're welcome. It's even colder now.
Support comes from the Wine Merchant, celebrating 50 years of serving the greater Cincinnati area. The Wine Merchant offers 3 different wine club options to choose from. Gourmet gift baskets and gift cards are also available online at winemerchantcincinnati.com. The Wine Merchant can help you discover the right wine for your taste or the wine lover on your list. Support comes from Cincinnati's Ronald McDonald House, which keeps families with critically ill children together while they seek life-saving medical care far from home. Your support gives them the care they need and eases financial and emotional burdens. You can learn more about ways to give at rmhcincinnati.org. That's rmhcincinnati.org.
Across time zones and cultures, through wars and natural disasters, NPR kept you informed about the biggest global stories of the year.
Recovery efforts continue across Turkey and Syria.
Ukraine is waging its biggest military offensive yet.
We are co-hosting this program from different locations around the Mideast this week to hear different perspectives on the world.
Help us continue to bring the world closer by making your year-end gift today.
You can do that right now by calling 513-419-7155. You also can give online at wvxu.org.
Today is Giving Tuesday, so we're making it easy to make your year-end gift at wvxu.org. We have a limited supply of special thank you gifts ready to send to you in time for the holidays. Don't wait. Make your contribution right now.
It's the perfect time to do it. WVXU, it's more than a radio station. Together we make up a community, and Lucy and I are asking you to join our little public radio family as a new sustaining member. That will make it a bigger family. It's just like your Netflix subscription, except you probably use WVXU so much more. You can call 513-419-7155 if you are already a sustaining member. Maybe you'd like to increase your gift. Maybe you've been giving $10 a month for a while and you'd like to increase that to $11 a month. $1 more a month will make a big difference. 513-419-7155 at WVXU.org.
And when you give a gift to support WVXU today, you're actually supporting 2 local nonprofits for the price of 1. Because when you donate to WVXU today, Childhood Food Solutions will automatically receive a donation of 3 pounds of fresh fruit. That's thanks to Doctors Marcia Kaplan and Michael Privatera. They're making this possible. You can support your favorite local public radio station and help some local kids get some fresh fruit too.
513-419-7155. How about this? We have 5 pair of tickets left to see comedian and actor Ronnie Chang. You may know him from Crazy Rich Asians. He'll be at the Taft Theater on Saturday, January 13th at 7 p.m. And for a $150 contribution or $12.50 a month, you can pick up a pair of tickets, but not very many left. So if you'd like to go, now is the time. 513-419-7155 or WVXU.org.
Outside, you showed me the prototype of the coffee that the listeners will have the ability to get. Can you tell us a little bit about the blend that you created for Cincinnati Public Radio?
The Coffee Emporium is the oldest coffee house in Cincinnati. This year is our 50th anniversary. Started in 1973 by a mother and daughter. And my wife and I bought it in 1996. We've tried many different.
After exit 164 in Dearborn County, there's a wreck in the construction zone. There was a broken down vehicle southbound 75 before Dixie Highway in Montgomery County, but that's been moved out of the way. Still some slow traffic approaching it. A few clouds tonight, a low of 19, according to first warning weather. Mostly sunny tomorrow, a high of 46. It's 26 degrees now. This is 91.7 WVX. Chef Family Foundation, supporting projects to create a more compassionate and equitable world. We'd like to thank them for supporting this 2-for-1 matching grant, and we'd like to thank you for taking advantage of it, but you got to call and make a contribution first. You can do that by calling 513-419-7155 or by making your gift at WVXU.org. Good afternoon, I'm Bill Reinhardt here with Tana Weingartner.
It has been a busy year, and we're trying to take the stress out of making your year-end charitable contributions. Hopefully, WVXU is on that list of nonprofits that you choose to support on Giving Tuesday this year. Call right now, 513-419-7155, or give online at WVXU.org.
On any given day, you'll hear news that makes you think, and if we're doing things right, you'll hear something that challenges you. Occasionally, you'll hear a reminder like this, asking you to donate. It takes just a few minutes. Just call 513-419-7155. Give at WVXU.org.
My name is Brandon Hill, a self-development artist, and I listen to WVXU because it offers truth, perspective, and humanity. So I was a little kid listening to radio, listening to public radio. If you can imagine, I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I'm riding in my father's car, and he's got public radio on all the time, coming from Louisville. And at the time, I was bored to death. But the crazy thing is when I began to go to college, I was flipping through the radio stations one time and happened to come upon BBC at night on 91.7. And I was like, this is really interesting. Then This American Life, and I was like, this is really interesting. And I realized that this is public radio, and this was the same public radio that I detested when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And I fell in love with it when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I listen to WVXU because there's nowhere else on the radio that you're going to get a perspective that represents the entirety of the city. Everybody has a voice on this radio station. Everybody has an opportunity. The interviews, the guests, the topics that are presented, it gives me a full perspective and a full picture of the beautiful city of Cincinnati.
Call 513-419-7155 or give at wvxu.org. And when you do that, Dr. Marcia Kaplan and Dr. Michael Privatera will donate 3 pounds of fresh fruit to Childhood Food Solutions in your name, on your behalf. Your gift goes a little further right now. Just call 513-419-7155 or give at wvxu.org.
Thank you to Tim Bisman for making a contribution, Mary Jane Bradley and Dr. David Groth. Thank you so very, very much. Make your gift right now at 513-419-7155. I listen to WVXU every day, and it really does make my life better. If it's important to you too, then Bill and I are asking you to join us right now in supporting this station by calling 513-419-7155 or by giving at wvxu.org. Think about it this way. If listening to WVXU wasn't an option, what other radio station would you choose? Exactly. Public radio is a part of your life. And the reason you're hearing right now, all things considered, is because someone else made a contribution. So please do your part right now at wvxu.org or by calling 513-419-7155.
NPR's election coverage will let you know what voters have to say. It will forcefully counter misinformation, and it will offer context and clarity. The first primary of 2024 is just weeks away. Support independent journalism that serves the public. Donate to this station today.
Call 513-419-7155 or make your gift at wvxu.org and make sure NPR and Cincinnati Public Radio are here for you in the coming year. We want to thank Tim Bisman, also Mary Jane Bradley, and Dr. David H. Groff, longtime listener. Thank you all. We'd love to thank you too, but you got to make that phone call first or go to wvxu.org. Where's the phone number if you haven't already memorized it? 513-419-7155. Once again, you can do it at wvxu.org.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from BritBox with Payback, a new original crime thriller from the creator of Line of Duty and Bodyguard, starring Grantchester's Morgan Christie and Ozark's Peter Mullen. Streaming at BritBox.com/NPR. From Procter & Gamble, maker of ZzzQuil Pure Z's gummies, designed with melatonin for occasional sleeplessness to help people fall asleep naturally. Learn more at ZzzQuil.com. And from the sustaining members of this NPR station.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Juana Summers.
And I'm Mary Louise Kelly. Today, Hamas freed 12 more hostages who were seized in its deadly assault on Israel on October 7th. This comes as the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas enters its 5th day, and as the ongoing exchange of Palestinian prisoners for hostages continues. Israel did report some fighting today, several soldiers lightly wounded, but the pause in fighting does appear to be largely holding. So, what comes next? And where does this leave the conflict? Our Pentagon correspondent Tom Bowman is in the studio with me to try and take on those questions. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Mary Louise.
What does come next?
Well, Israeli officials say they have two goals: get the hostages back and destroy Hamas. So whenever the fighting pause ends to release hostages, then the shooting will begin again, this time in the southern part of Gaza, where there are some 2 million people.
2 million people. Okay, and the fighting would move south because so many of those people have fled northern Gaza because it's been devastated by Israeli strikes?
That's right. And according to Palestinian officials, the death toll now in Gaza is some 14,000 killed, most of them women and children. So the administration, members of Congress, have been increasingly worried about the massive death toll from this war. Israel says it's taking steps to prevent civilian casualties, but points out that Hamas is using civilians as human shields, so they say it's a complex battlefield. Now, retired and active duty American military officers I talked with say, listen, there's no way the U.S. would have resorted to some of the powerful strikes Israel has mounted in northern Gaza, such as dropping that 2,000-pound bomb in a refugee area to destroy a tunnel complex. And U.S. officials have been pressing the Israelis to take more care. One senior officer I spoke with said Israel has to think beyond the tactical military moves of destroying Hamas and look at the bigger picture. What's the future of Gaza? What happens to those 2 million Palestinians inside Gaza? What about world public opinion that is increasingly opposed to Israel's harsh tactics?
Back up for a second, Tom. You just said U.S. officials are counseling Israel to take more care. What does that actually look like? Do we know what they're actually saying?
Well, actually we do now. Senior administration officials had a conference call with reporters last night, and they said there's an understanding that a different military campaign has to be conducted by the Israelis in the south, where again, most of those 2 million residents have fled. The U.S. is saying that Israel has to be careful not to conduct military operations around the UN-supported shelters or around power and water facilities. So I asked an Israeli military officer who briefed reporters at the embassy in Washington today, will the Israeli military operation in the south be different, more cautious? Here's Lieutenant Colonel Amnon Shefler.
We do not aim at any time and at any point at civilians. We're trying to mitigate that in the best way we can, and that's why we've developed really the most... I don't think there's any other army in the world that has developed these kind of mechanisms in order to deal with these complicated situations.
So you can see he didn't really answer the question. When I pressed him, he said, well, these are political decisions. But again, administration officials continue to worry about this high civilian death toll.
And just briefly, Tom, on the question of civilians, there is supposed to be more aid heading into the southern part of Gaza. Give us a quick update.
Yeah, more aid is flowing in from the border crossing with Egypt. The only crossing open. U.S. military, by the way, started flying in plane loads of food, medicine, and winter clothing. But here's the problem, Mary Louise. About 240 trucks are now coming into Gaza daily. Officials say you need closer to 400 daily.
So they would need to double it. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
NPR Pentagon correspondent, Tom Bowman.
Now to Washington and the latest in the battle between House Republicans and President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Earlier this month, the House Oversight and Judiciary Committee subpoenaed Hunter Biden, demanding that he testify behind closed doors. Now, Hunter Biden is telling Congress he's willing to testify in public. NPR Justice correspondent Ryan Lucas is following all of this and joins us now. Hey, Ryan.
Hi there.
So, Ryan, I want to set aside Hunter Biden's offer to testify. We'll get to that later. Can you just first set the stage for us? Because I feel like this has been a very long-running battle between House Republicans and the president's son.
Right. House Republicans tried over time to zero in on what they say are Hunter Biden's questionable business dealings. And they've made him a key part of their impeachment inquiry into his father, President Biden, of course. House Republicans, and a lot of Republicans in the Senate as well, actually, have tried to put a spotlight for a long time on the younger Biden, in part because they think that he's a political liability for the president. Hunter has had issues, it has to be said. He's had well-documented struggles with addiction. He was indicted earlier this year on federal gun charges. But Republicans have really focused on his business activities and trying to tie those to his father. And so the House Oversight and House Judiciary Committees subpoenaed Hunter Biden earlier this month. They are demanding that he testify on December 13th and that he do so behind closed doors.
I understand, Ryan, that Hunter Biden's response came in a letter from his attorney to the Oversight Committee. What did it say?
Well, this is a 3-page letter from Hunter's attorney, Abby Lowell. It's part of what appears to be a more aggressive defense strategy of late. And Lowell takes aim at the committee and what he calls its quote-unquote partisan crusade. He says the panel has failed to tie Hunter Biden's business activities to his father. Lowell says Smith offered to meet with the committee and to provide relevant information. He says the committee has never responded. But what it's done instead, he says, was issue this subpoena, which Lowell calls a Hail Mary pass. His time is running out. He also says if the House inquiry wants to inform the public, Hunter will come answer the committee's questions in a public hearing. He accuses the committee of using closed-door testimony in the past to selectively leak information and misinform the public. Having Hunter Biden testify in public, he says, would prevent that.
What does the committee have to say in response, if anything?
Well, the committee's chairman, Republican James Comer, wasn't having any of it. He accused Hunter Biden of trying to play by his own rules. He says that's not going to fly. Comer says the committee's subpoena is lawful. And he says he expects Hunter Biden to show up and testify on December 13th as the subpoena demands. But Comer also says that Biden should have a chance to testify in public, but at an unspecified future date. The top Democrat on the committee, unsurprisingly, had a decidedly different take. Jamie Raskin says Republicans have been pushing some grand, unproven Biden family conspiracy, and they've been demanding to hear from Hunter Biden. And he says, now here's Hunter Biden offering to answer their questions in public, and here Republicans are saying no.
Okay, so there's a question about the politics of all of this. Has the Republican effort to focus intently on Hunter Biden actually paid off with voters? Any evidence there?
So remember, House Republicans are doing this as part of their impeachment inquiry against the president, although they dug up, as I said, no evidence so far of illegal activity. But their effort does appear, the controversy surrounding the younger Biden does appear to be registering with the public. An NPR poll from early October shows that 63% of respondents believe President Biden has done something unethical or illegal in relation to his son's business dealings. Unsurprisingly, there's a break along party lines on that. 9 in 10 Republicans think Biden's done something wrong. Only 1 in 3 Democrats do.
NPR's Ryan Lucas. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 91.7 WVXU.
Support comes from the UC Center for Business Analytics, presenting Introduction to MS Power BI. 4 online sessions with live instructor December 4th to 13th. Learn how to import and model data, create visualizations, and deploy business dashboards. No prior experience needed. Information at business.uc.edu/PowerBI. Support comes from Elizabeth Grace Home in Old Montgomery. Elizabeth Grace Home offers fine linens for bed, bath, and table, as well as sleepwear, baby gifts, and other luxuries for the home. Elizabeth Grace Home. For store hours, directions, and much more, you can visit online at elizabethgracehome.com. That's elizabethgracehome.com.
Support comes from Greater Cincinnati Foundation, connecting people with purpose to help create a more vibrant and equitable community for all. GCF brings impact home by investing in a rich arts and culture scene, affordable housing, environment, education access, and more. Your generous gift to its annual fund makes this work possible. Learn more by visiting Greater Cincinnati Foundation's website.
Hey y'all, it's Brittany Luce, host of It's Been a Minute. If you've ever lingered in your living room or idled in your car to find out how a story on the radio ends, you're a member of a very special club.
It's true. I'm Manoush Zamarodi, host of the TED Radio Hour. Brittany and I are both card-carrying members of the Driveway Moment Club.
If you're hearing this, chances are you are a part of the club too. And you know that weekends on this station are made for Driveway Moments.
You turn to public radio on the weekend for stories and conversations that catch you off guard, make you laugh, or make you think. And look, Driveway Club membership is free, but getting these stories and conversations on the air, that takes work.
It's work we'd love to do, but we cannot do it without you. Help us keep it going.
Here's how to donate to this station today, and thanks.
Call 513-419-7155 or give at WVXU.org. Do you believe having a local source of news you can trust is important? Well, I do. Tana does. That's why we support WVXU. We hope you'll join us by donating what you can this Giving Tuesday. This is a service you believe in. It's something you listen to all the time, and you share what you hear with your friends, with your family. We're already planning for it next year. Your support makes a big difference. Give now at WVXU.org or call 513-419-7155.
This is the station that you turn to for news that you can trust, not sensationalized sound bites that are, just going to get you really upset. And you know what? It's not a small thing. We work really hard to earn your trust every day. And we also hope that we are earning your support. WVXU relies on listener contributions for half of our funding every year. That's about $2 million that we are dependent on listeners like you to support. And not just listeners like you, listeners like the folks around you, listeners like Bill, listeners like me. We support this station. I really hope that you will join me right now by calling 513-419-7155 or online at wvxu.org.
I'm Karen Tate, and I've been a sustaining member for years. Even signed up my grandchildren as sustaining members, so we
all over it. Usually cats aren't gonna mess with foil, like the crinkly and the noise, they don't like it. A dog, I don't know, they might push past that if they really want to. But they had the tip of me, you put some foil over if you've got a real one. So that was a big one. Also, and I do this at my house just because my young daughter anyway, I let her decorate the bottom of the tree. So all of the little ornaments that don't break or, are very soft or plush or anything, they go toward the bottom. But maybe keep the breakable ones toward the top. Just because with my dogs, again, they walk by and smack it with their tail and then it's falling off and breaking, and you don't need them stepping on it or you stepping on it and with the hooks and things like that. So maybe put the more breakable ones toward the top, and do that. Another one is, and I actually didn't think of this when I read this one, is like the dough ornaments. I don't know if people still make those. I remember as a kid making them.
Yeah,
he
she backs out of my way when she goes in the back because it's kind of narrow, and she'll look at me like, oh yeah, I have the roof so you can get to that thing you go on. Okay.
Right.
I got it.
Well, they always keeping us on our toes, that's for sure.
They are, and then she'll also leave, and I'll say, come back. Oh, okay. And I pet her, and I grab her tail, not grab it, but it goes in my hands. I go, got your tail. And then she goes off, and I come back. I'm not finished yet. Oh, you can pet me some more there? Okay.
Oh, gosh.
So she gives me a lot of fun. It drives me crazy, though, on some things, but she can be a lot of fun.
Sounds like a normal kitty. Yep.
Oh, yes. Yes, very normal. Very smart. Don't ever let anybody tell you cats are dumb.
Oh, no. They are way too smart for us.
I'll tell you one quick story about Oreo. I was working night shift, and I was off work, over the weekend or whatever. And I went to pick up my home phone, and I was laying there in the chair, and I thought, let me check and see if I have any messages or anything.